Hi Tribe, how's it going? And welcome to today's video. Before starting, I would like to really apologize for the lack of videos this last week. I got a little bit busy, but to be honest with you, I also got sick. Don't worry, it was no COVID, thank God. It was just a minor uh, stomach infection that I got through it pretty quickly, thank God. And right now I'm here today, ready to do this last video for the section all about. And what a great way to close this all about section than to talk about a very powerful animal in OP that is sleep. And what a better way to talk about sleep than me lying down in my bed. So I'm doing this from the sacred place where we do sleep. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, what the hell is sleep? Sleep, in OP terms, is a combination of an extrovert and of an introvert observer and an introverted decider working together, and that creates the sleep animal. And the sleep animal basically is the animal that allows us to put on the brakes, expending energy because it's the introverted energy animal, and go inside ourselves and really process everything that we go through in throughout the course of our lives. So sleep is a really powerful and interesting animal, but also is a really delicate animal. It's a really vulnerable animal. Why I say this? Because this week's celebrity, that is, it was this week we got to type Sarah Rob O'Hagan. So Sarah Rob O'Hagan ended up being typed as double feminine FI, sleep blast, play consume. And it's really interesting that combination because it's the same stack that Dave has. And those folks really do come across as very extroverted, very out there folks. It's like, wow, I mean, you might think that these types of folks are play over sleep, and no, they are sleep over play. So it's really interesting to see in a way how how sensitive sleep is to play, especially when you have play in the first three functions of your stack. And that combination of animals is particularly interesting because even though you have sleep savior in the first place, because you have blast, that is the extroverted energy animal, information animal, and play, which is the extroverted energy animal, in the first three, like 2 3, that leaves you with only one introverted savior animal. So that results in folks that are really out there, are really out there, are really extroverted, and you may think that they are playable sleep when in reality it's not like that. So that really helped me a lot to narrow down and to understand what sleep is and what sleep is not. So sleep, like I said, is putting on the brakes, act before, think before you act, think before you talk, and just really being able to check in with yourself. It's that simple. It's being able to check in with yourself. If you're about to do something that, for example, involves exactly expending energy with the tribe, sleep is like, wait, first off, I need to check in with myself and see if I really like it, if I really want to go there, if I really want to take this direction, if I really think or feel that this is the right thing for me to do. So basically, that's how I personally interpret sleep. So, how does sleep play in my life? Well, to me, sleep is a very beautiful and very powerful animal, like all three of them. And I discovered sleep now that I'm finally being able to look back at it and to sleep on that. Basically, when I was in a very rough place in my life, I discovered sleep when I was 23 years old. And why I discovered sleep so late in my life? Well, what happened was that I came uh, from a background that it was all good until I was 11 years old. And what happened when I was 11 years old, I think that's when my hero's journey started in a way because my internal bubble just got popped off so abruptly by my parents getting divorced. My parents got divorced when I was 11 years old. It was a very rough divorce. It was a very rough process. It was ugly. Everybody got hurt. Everybody got reactive. Everybody got aggressive and defensive. So it was really a minefield uh, during those years. Plus, we end up, me, my mom, and my sister, we ended up being kicked out from the house that we were living, that was supposed to be our house, apparently, but apparently it was just an illusion. The house really belonged to my paternal grandmother, because yes, we were living with my paternal grandmother all that time before my parents got divorced. So that happened. We got kicked out from there. We end up living with my uh, grandmother from my mom's side. And I also was finishing elementary school and starting middle school. So everything got, uh, everything just overlapped. My parents divorced, me entering to puberty, so the hormones, me entering to a new school stage. So there was so much chaos, and the chaos that followed on those years. I was also heavily bullied. I was basically bullied my whole school life. And no, I'm not speaking about casualties, and it was really bullying, unfortunately. So it was that. It was also when I started college, I got involved into a legal battle with my dad because my dad just stopped giving money to my mom, so we can keep on living our lives. And because I was already 18 years old, I had to co-sign that legal suing against my dad, so my name would show up on the envelopes that he would receive, and it was really really tough times. So most of all, I was not able to stop. I felt like I had no permission to stop because I had all that responsibility of keep the wheel going, because the moment I stopped, everything will fall apart, you know? So we got a lot of things going on. We got also me being gay and really having a hard time accepting that because of the fear of not being accepted. So we have that. We have also me being like disappointed from the career that I studied because I realized when I was already studying that career that it wasn't what I wanted. So like by the time that I finished high school, I was sure that what I was about to enter to study in college was not really the thing that I wanted. But because of this legal situation that ensued between my mom and my dad, and my mom being just fresh laid out from her job and trying so desperately to find out what she was going to do to make a living and to uh, and to pay for me and my sisters and her expenses as well, led to this kind of conundrum in a way that in which I was not allowed to stop. I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. I had to force myself to keep going, even if that wasn't the direction that I was going. And Obviously, if things would have been different, I would probably have taken myself a gap year when I finished high school, in order to figure out better which path is the path I want to take. But I wasn't again able to do that, and I paid the price. I paid the price because at 22 years old, which is the time that I finished college, and like in a way started my adult life, I was burnt out. I was fully burnt out. I was depressed. I was like really depressed, and the only thing that I was capable to feel was depression and anxiety. So those were my two best friends throughout the first part of my 20s, my early 20s. And what happened also is that what followed after me finishing college was also really hit because was also really hard because I was I had this huge fight with my dad, and that ended up in my dad's estranging me. I was estranged by my father after that discussion fight that we had, and that also led to my father pulling off the financial plug. And back then, I was doing a master's degree because in my school they offered. That's why Mexico it's a very weird place to be. They have this weird thing of doing a master's degree in order for you to obtain your bachelor's degree. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And here it is possible. It is possible to do that, believe it or not. And I took that because I thought that I had my father's financial support, and that support got pulled out. But it was already too late because I already signed the contract uh, for my masters, so I had to keep going. I had to keep going, and up until that point, I was already 23 years old, and I couldn't stop. I never stopped. I never stopped to really process that, to process all the shit that happened to me since I was 11. So a lot of unprocessed stuff got built up inside me to the point that I it was out of control. And maybe this is one of the most vulnerable videos I'm going to do in this channel. But it got so bad that I came to a point where I wanted to kill myself. I really wanted to kill myself. I really tried to commit suicide. And fortunately, that is behind. Fortunately. And I learned the importance of patience, the importance of resilience, the importance of grit, and most of all, the importance of sleep. The importance of putting the fucking brakes regardless of what others people think, and just do you. I mean, build yourself. Because I realized at 23 years old that up until that point in my life, I never really had the time to build myself. I was so busy putting off the fires of other people, my dad, my parents, my other family members, my sister, whatever, that I never had the time to do myself. I never had the time to really go inside and process all that crazy shit that I went through. And that happened in 2015. So that stopping in a way keeps going up to this day. But now that I look back, I realize how important it is to really spend a good amount of time, a good portion of your life building yourself up, doing yourself. Because I realize that the most successful and well balanced people are the ones that take themselves time to build themselves from the inside out and not the other way around, which honestly was the way that I was working. I was working completely upside down. I was constantly worried and accommodating other people's needs. I never had the time to do myself, and it came to a point where that depression was the result, I think, of not doing myself, that the moment that I don't care, I don't have other people to care for, I don't exist. So it was tough, but I pushed through it, and right now I'm in so much better place. And this is really important because we all need the four animals, you know? And the last one, just because it's the most difficult for us to do, doesn't mean that it doesn't have to get done. We need to really fight to give ourselves time to really do that animal, because that's what really is going to turn your life around. And nobody is going to be responsible for doing that but ourselves, really. And I learned that the hard way. And yeah, I mean, it's so important. I'm still not there yet. I'm still feel super insecure. I still once in a while fall back into my old programming of going with what other people say and let other people to have authority without really consulting with myself first and say, wait. I do I really want to this person to take over my life or no? Or do I really want to go that direction or no? I still fuck it up, but I'm still learning, fortunately. And fortunately, I've been growing that, and I can proudly say that I know myself way more better now at 28 years old than at 22, 23 years old. So, sleep is really important. It's really, really, really important and really powerful once that you get to do it, once that you access it. It's really important. It's really powerful, and it really makes you grounded and makes you solid on your identity. That is something that is so important. So, yeah, that's my experience with that. And guess that's all for today. And it was really, really fun to do this with you guys. I really hope that you guys liked this series. And for next week's video, I'm thinking about some ideas that I want to try out. But I really want for you guys to know which thing or which topic do you want me to talk about next week. So now I leave that up to you. So see you on the next video and have a great week. Bye bye.